it's Ms. Hurst from Hamilton County Schools. We're going to continue working with Al Gore's Nobel Peace Prize speech today. So to get us started, I just want you to do this warm-up. What was his overarching argument? So he made several arguments in the text, but what was the overarching, that big argument that he made in this text? All right, what we're going to do today is we're going to trace and evaluate the argument and specific claims in a text. So it's a good thing that you guys just have identified what that argument is. We're going to look at how he made that argument. So yesterday we looked at the appeals that he used. Today we're going to look at the facts and how he convinces us. So we're going to do it. I'm going to do it for you with one of the not overarching arguments. So another argument that he made in the text is that a solution to climate change will take a lot of effort. So what you'll notice is that an argument is something that is an opinion, right? Some people might not think that the solution to climate change will take a lot of effort. Whatever you wrote for your overarching argument, it should be something that some people might say, no, that's not true. Because what we're going to do is we're going to look for evidence that he uses to prove this, and then I'm going to evaluate, is this a strong piece of evidence or not? And so I have my text up. So I have my text up right here, but I'm going to put it on my other screen. And I'm just going to look for reasons and evidence that he provides that says that a solution to climate change will take a lot of effort. So in paragraph 20, he says, we also find it hard to imagine making the massive changes that are now necessary to solve the crisis. So that was paragraph 20. So I'm going to put that there so I know. So first of all, this piece of evidence doesn't contain any facts exactly. It's not like this is what needs to happen, but it does point out a human truth. Humans have trouble imagining an effort this large, which will make the solution more difficult, right? Because it's going to take a lot of work, it's automatically going to be more difficult because humans find it hard to imagine. The next piece of evidence I found was when he said we must quickly mobilize our civilization with the urgency and resolve that has previously been seen only when nations mobilized for war. So that was paragraph 27. So he's comparing this to a war. Shows how much effort it will take. He also uses emotional words like quickly and urgency, which shows that the effort will not be easy. However, in this quote, he's not giving us a reason. He's just saying again that it's going to not be easy. In paragraph 29, he says, our enemies in those times calculated that free people would not rise to the challenge. Paragraph 29. So again, Gore implies that this will be a challenge, but he does not tell us why. So he's just repeating this idea over and over again so that we will believe him that it's going to be a challenge. But at this point, he has not told us why it's going to be a challenge. Why is this going to be so difficult? Finally, in paragraph 30, we get to why. Once again, it is the 11th hour. The penalties for ignoring this challenge are immense and growing, and at some near point would be unsustainable and unrecoverable. Okay, he has finally told us one reason it's difficult. One reason Gore argues that it will be difficult that we are so far into this process that if we take too long, the effects will be too much. Urgency automatically makes things more difficult, right? We're afraid, we're nervous. We have gotten too far into this. All right, the next reason that he gives is in paragraph 35. We must abandon the conceit that individual, isolated, private actions are the answer. They can and do help, but they will not take us far enough without collective action. Oh my gosh, right here, he is telling us another reason this will be difficult because we have to work together, which humans aren't good at. We know that. We know we're not good at working together. We want to be able to solve it on our own, and he says we can't. And then kind of furthering that idea in paragraph 36, he says that means adopting principles, values, laws, and treaties that release creativity and initiative at every level of society in multifold responses, originating concurrently and spontaneously. Okay. He is here outlining what it will take, changing everything about our world's values. He's saying we have to change values, laws, treaties, principles at every level of society in multifold responses concurrently, so that means at the same time, and spontaneously, quickly, now. We have to do it now, okay? So he's finally given us some reasons. Okay, so now I want you guys to do that same chart from above with the overarching argument you identified in the warm-up. So you're going to give me the argument, you're going to give me the evidence / reasons that he gives, and then why is that piece of evidence strong? Does it give us facts? Is it just him saying it, or is he giving you a reason? Okay. Pause me while you do this work and press play when you're ready to continue. All right. So we are good writers and good readers, and good readers really trace an author's argument in a text and evaluate whether or not the author provided sufficient and reasonable evidence. So your exit ticket today is to kind of sum up what you learned. Did Gore provide sufficient and reasonable evidence for his overarching argument? You're going to write a paragraph. If you feel good about that, you can stop this now. If not, I'm going to model a paragraph, okay? So with my chart. So did he provide reasonable and sufficient evidence? So I'm going to say, Gore did eventually provide reasonable evidence to prove that the solution to climate change will be difficult. He relied on a lot of hyperbole in his examples of why this challenge will be so difficult. He tended to use vocabulary that implied this effort will be difficult, such as challenge and urgency, but provided little in the way of reasoning for why. He did eventually, though, give 2 reasons that this will be a difficult road to embark on. So what I've done so far is I've said what he didn't do well. But my claim here was that he did eventually provide reasonable evidence. Okay, so now I'm going to give the evidence, right? He gave 2 reasons. He said, first, that it must be done quickly, which adds to the difficulty. We cannot take the time to figure out the best way to do things, you must start making changes. So that's difficult. Secondly, he says that the entire human race must work together to change principles, values, laws, and treaties in every location around the world. This type of commonality across different cultures will clearly be difficult. By providing these two reasons, Gore does prove that the solution will not be easy to get to. However, he also relied on vocabulary to convince the reader. Okay, so I've said, yeah, he did something well, but he also didn't do some things well, okay? So go ahead and answer this question. Did he provide sufficient and reasonable evidence for his overarching argument? Once you're done with that, you are good to go. Have a wonderful rest of your day.